stimulus checks, and apparently there is a man, and I believe he's a black man. I have to look up his picture, but I based on the names, honestly, Tamika Daquan, the stuff like that that's in the story, it looks like he's a brother. But basically, he's being accused of killing an entire family over a stimulus check. His name is Malik Halfacre, and Malik is a 25-year-old young man who did just really the unthinkable, and took the life of a lot of people. He faces 4 counts of murder, 1 count each of attempted murder, armed robbery, auto theft, and other charges. He allegedly shot to death. Let's see. He shot his former girlfriend. He killed 3 adults in the car and a child. According to ABC, they say he shot a woman who was the mother of his 6-month-old daughter, critically wounding her, and fatally shot 4 of her relatives inside a home where officers found the bodies of Anthony Johnson, 35, Daquan Moore, 23, Tomika Brown, 44, and even most saddest of all, 7-year-old Eve Moore. And so this story is obviously terrible, and we know it's terrible, and there's nothing else. There's not much else to say about that. And the reason that there's not much else to say about that is because the goal here is not just to talk about how terrible the story is. The goal is really to talk about whether or not there's anything we can learn from this. So the first thing, the obvious is, and most of us fit in this category. Most of us would never harm another person over something as basic as money, right? The stimulus checks are out there, and people are wilding out, crazy things are happening, stuff like that. So I don't think I need to tell anybody listening to this right now, don't go kill anybody over a stimulus check. Give me a yes, give me a confirmation if you get that basic message. Like, don't go kill people over money, right? But I assume you understand this. Why am I talking about this then? Because clearly you're intelligent black people, so you don't need a lesson on not killing people. I would hear people say that in the black community. They say, stop killing each other. And the people in the audience will be like, okay, we don't kill anybody. Like, what are you talking about? So that's not the reason I'm bringing this topic up. The reason I'm bringing this topic up is because I want to give you a couple of quick thoughts, on financial psychology. Financial psychology, it reminds me of one of my favorite rappers and one of my very good friends. His name is D1. D1 is a rapper out of New Orleans who's a brilliant brother, an amazing black man, a wonderful human being. He's very, very good for hip hop. And D has a song called I Hate Money. And in this song, I Hate Money, he talks about how money causes crazy things to happen in families. Money causes people to stop speaking to each other. Money causes people to want to fight. Money can cause people to not not deal with their sibling for 20 straight years in a row. Money can cause people to just do a lot of really crazy stuff. And and I remember hearing that song, and D is such a smart guy, and he actually raps about financial literacy. He has some great songs about Sally Mae. I pay Sally Mae back, which was Sally Mae actually. I think they sponsored a tour with him as a result of that. So he's built a great brand in this area. But the song really sparked a lot of my thinking in terms of what I've seen in terms of why sometimes it can be tempting to have an issue with money. When they say money is the root of all evil, some of that is true, but actually, it's not so much money is that's the root of all evil. A lot of times, it is the scarcity of money, the lack of money, that becomes the root of all evil. Because people who have plenty of money don't kill other people over money, right? When there's plenty of money around, you're not going to go fight a relative over money. Most of y'all wouldn't even think about killing a bunch of people over money. I mean, this brother obviously has issues deeper than just how much money's in his bank account. Maybe his issue is maybe he has a psychiatric issue, maybe has a drug issue, or whatever. But most of you wouldn't kill anybody over money. But many of you have been in situations where you've seen people make bad decisions over money. Maybe you've seen a woman sleep with a man she didn't even like over money. Cardi B tells you to sell your WAP for $1.95 a pound because you need money. Well, I teach my girls about money so they ain't got to go when they grow up. I'm not even going to use the word WAP in reference to my daughters, but you know what I'm talking about. I never want them to be in a situation where they're so desperate that they had to make ugly decisions because of money. And so while many of you may not have probably haven't ever harmed anyone over money, maybe you've never even seen anybody get harmed over money. You probably have seen, give me a yes or no in the chat if you get this. Um, you probably have seen people make really, really, really hard decisions over money, desperate decisions over money, do desperate things, to get a little bit of money. Well, that's why black wealth is so important. That's why economic intelligence is so important. That's why learning where the money resides is so important, so that we can actually position ourselves where you can make decisions for reasons that make sense and not just make decisions over money. Now, if you could do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button, and feel free to follow me on Twitter at Dr. Boyce Watkins 1, Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. That's right there. And also, just so you know, I'm actually going to be on my gaming channel, and I'm going to be playing Call of Duty a little bit later. It's a little bit ironic because Call of Duty is a pretty violent game, but whatever. I mean, I like the game, and I'm also going to talk about some stock picks that I have while I'm playing Call of Duty. So if you want to come in and ask me questions, that's a good place to go. So follow me on the Twitch channel. It's the URL's right there, twitch.tv/ Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'll be going there almost every single day, and it's a good place to have conversations and kind of chop it up. So I am a gamer. I decided to do that. It's a great way to connect with my son. It's been a lot of fun. So the last piece I would say on this, in addition to understanding how the scarcity of money can cause us to make desperate choices over money, or can lead to desperate, terrible situations over money. There's also the issue of dealing in relationships with people who make bad choices. This woman, what really struck me was when I read that the primary victim, that the ex-girlfriend is the lone survivor, that literally she saw her whole family get murdered in this situation that involved her ex-boyfriend, who clearly was a problem. There was a restraining order against this guy. His name's Malik Halfacre, and but she's not. Sometimes being dead is the best thing that can happen. Sometimes, I mean, if you're dead, you don't have the guilt, right? And she has to live with the guilt, almost like Jennifer Hudson had to. Her sister had to live with the guilt of that guy that came in and killed a bunch of members of her family. Well, I think about that in terms of just thinking about relationships that you get into. And I see some of y'all are asking me questions. If you have those questions, go to my Twitch channel and ask me the questions, because I want to focus on getting my point out. Is because I'm actually supposed to be over on the Twitch channel now. I'm actually going to go over there as soon as I'm done with this. So if you have a question directly for me, you just come to the Twitch channel. You can put it in there, and what I do is I'll stop playing every 10 minutes and I'll answer your questions. But here's the point. There's a lot of crazy people out here. Like, give me a yes or no if, even though you probably have never killed anybody over money, um, and you probably never even seen anybody get killed over money. How many of you have in your life met somebody where you could see them doing something crazy like that, like doing something crazy to harm another person? Maybe like a woman, or a man that a woman's in a relationship with, or a woman as well. You got some crazy women that you could be in relationships with who might come back and do something really ridiculous, kill themselves, kill other people. How many of you have ever seen that? There's a whole bunch of people out there that have seen that, right? So even though you're not in that crazy category, right? That's why you are probably here, because you're different. You're not the same. The majority of black people don't even understand what I'm talking about, right? That's why I learned to listen. I learned to ignore stupid Negroes that come in and say stupid stuff, because honestly, they're just not on our level, mentally. But most of you have seen this, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm really trying to appeal to the good people out here in the world, the people that actually want to add value to the lives of other people, who want to live in peace, who want to do well for themselves. And I really want you to encourage you to understand the value of this entity called your life. Like, there's no LLC you will ever form that is more valuable than your life, right? There's no corporation you'll ever build that it was worth more than your peace. There's no organization you could be a part of that has more value than your health and your safety. And so when you decide to let people come into your life, you got to vet the hell out of those people. I'm telling you, like, guys, do you know how many times I've seen men go down because they met some crazy trifling woman who had daddy issues, who decided that because she's disappointed in the relationship, she's going to destroy every single thing you've ever worked for. Ladies, do you know how many women I've known who, got murdered after they got the restraining order filed because the police didn't take it seriously? I have a friend that I think about. When she was a baby, her mother was married to a terrible man, and she called the police several times and said, "If you don't do something, he's going to kill me." And he literally poured gasoline on her while she was holding the baby and caught her and the baby on fire. The mother died, the baby lived, and the baby is now a grown woman who's a friend of mine who has burns on 75% of her body, and she lives in pain because of what happened to her when she was a baby. So what I'm really just telling you is that at the end of the day, one of the things I have learned so much, you guys see me, like sometimes Alicia and I, Dr. Alicia, my fiance, we have a platform, the blacklovechannel.com, which is a love and relationship platform. It's very mature. It's not for, silly minded people. We really try to go deep. We do deep dives on stuff. We're not just here to tell you stuff that's going to make you feel good or bark at people. It's based on scientific training. There's the URL right there if you want to check it out. And so a lot of people are like, well, why are you into this relationship stuff? Why are you talking about relationships? Well, because relationships are everything. You form the wrong relationships, that can ruin everything you've ever worked for. You let the wrong homies around you. I'm talking to the guys. Like, you get the wrong dudes around you, man, these guys will have you dead, in jail, in terrible situations. Ladies, you got the wrong friends. They giving you bad advice. They got you leaving your man when you're happy with him, but they're not happy with him. So they talk you into leaving your man so they can go sleep with him. You pick the wrong. I know guys that will go trust a big butt and a smile in a second. They'll go chase down some woman just because she looks good. Next thing you know, that woman got you hemmed up. Child support you can't afford to pay. They're out here ruining your reputation. Done cut your tires, busted out your windows, going around telling lies about you, accusing. And in the worst cases, like when they might falsely accuse you of something that you did not do. Ladies, there's a lot of smooth men out here who will leave you pregnant with a STD. I'm telling you, like they got the best. I'm sure that their sex is good and they look good. That's how they get all the women. That's how they get in the bed with all these women. It's smart. I'm talking about smart women with master's degrees and law degrees who have unaddressed emotional voids that cause them to allow men into their life who should not be there. Your life is your sanctuary, and you must protect that. You must defend that. You must vet people that come through at all costs. You got to check ID at the window, and so don't just be letting people come into your space. And I'm telling you, I've learned this because I've been, you know, I probably have an extreme experience in this because I've met thousands and thousands of people around the world, many of whom were trying to get very, very close to me. And I had to learn the hard way about vetting the hell out of people that come in. So I'm an expert at that. I'm an expert at analyzing and breaking stuff down and being very cautious about who I allow into my space. Sometimes, but even sometimes I get it wrong, right? So I'm just telling you, like in life in general, take my word for it. Like I look at this story and I see one really disturbed guy who maybe he obviously has mental health issues, maybe drugs are involved. One of those two things. It could be something else, but I'm thinking it's one of those two areas. And I see his involvement with a bunch of other people. Maybe they have their own issues, but they're clearly not as extreme as him. But his behavior spread like a virus and literally ends up traumatizing everybody else in the family. And you got people out there like that, people that are poison to your family, people that are toxic to the entire environment, people that will come in with their crazy, demonic, negative energy and mess it all up for everybody. And then next thing you know, they got you acting ghetto because you're trying to get ghetto with a ghetto ass person. If anybody causes you to debase who you are in order to deal with them, like you feel like you got to go back to you got to get straight hood with them, you got to take it back to the street. You 45 years old and you got the good job at IBM or you working with the law firm and she got you out here pulling out some chick's weave in the street. That's when you need to take a step back and say, what am I doing? How did I end up in this situation? Right? So just keep that in mind. Those are my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong on some areas. I'm sure I am. I am not perfect, but I felt compelled. The spirit moved me to address this conversation, not just from the financial angle, but also from the more important angle, which is the angle of life. So I'm gonna go. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Also, if you want to support the platform, you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. We actually have a Patreon there. I haven't mentioned it much lately, but if some of you have asked how you can support, and I'll type the URL in here. It's intelligentblackpeople.com. So feel free to be a patron of the platform, because your support is definitely appreciated. So I'm gonna head on out, and if you want to talk to me directly, you can go meet me on my Twitch channel right now. I'm gonna head over there. I'll be on there in about 10 minutes. And my Twitch channel is here. Here is the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Dr. Boyce Watkins. So if you have a question, come on over. One sentence questions are easier to answer. If it's super long, it's hard to answer. But if you give me, let's see, how can I get the follow back on Twitch? Sure, I'll follow you back. Suburban Trap Stars. Just ask me during the Twitch thing. I'll be happy to follow you, man. God bless you. I'm sorry, just no disrespect, man. And actually, we have if you're into gaming or stocks or both, I'm getting into the gaming thing. I'm having fun. We're actually going to have a Call of Duty tournament at some point. I've been talking to the brothers that I've been meeting on there, and we're going to do that. So if that's your thing, like, follow on the Black Stock Market Gamer. It's a great way to learn and have fun at the same time. Just something I'm doing with the fellas and the ladies. Actually, a young lady actually followed me on Xbox. She jumped into my session, and I said, "You sound like a little girl." She said, "Yeah, I just wanted to see if it was really you, Dr. Watkins." And so she had her little Call of Duty icon up on the screen. She's ready to go in and do some killing or whatever. But yeah, so I'm having a blast with it. I really am. It's really fun. And which Call of Duty do you play? I play Warzone and Modern Warfare and whatever the latest three are. Then there's one more, I forgot, the one with the zombies. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. Please hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I will talk to you soon.